Greetings, gamers! Welcome to part number 56 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 10 Radiant Dawn. And in today's episode, I have much to do completing out this chapter. I think I should be able to finish it this episode. It's going to take a little bit of doing, but I should be able to finish it. And I'm particularly of the mind that I should be able to, just because even though it is a route chapter and I have very few units in my own party, the issue is that the enemies are not all that strong compared to my own units due to my focusing as much as I have on my particular units, and it's allowing for some good experience points gains, as well as the fact that my units themselves they're kind of snowballing at this point. And that's just going to happen in both Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Even in the end game of either of these games, you never get to a point where your units are outmatched, which is one of the reasons why I find it odd that so many people complain about the level of difficulty that the individual boss units of FE4 and FE5 are not that strong, because even though that's the case, the endgame chapters are pretty darn tough, and they match your team, point for point, if not better in many ways. And then you have other things like, for instance, FE11 and FE15, which do this as well, especially on the harder difficulties. So yeah, this game supplies you with some pretty powerful bosses at the end, but most of your units still pose a reasonable threat to those bosses. Not like completely, it's not like those bosses are just useless, but they're not as... The final chapters of this game are not as imposing, and it has to do with the fact that your units are third tier. Pretty much nothing you face is third tier, even though they're like 2.5 tier. So it's interesting. I'm not going to say that the balance of this game in that factor is so bad, because I'm also not one who unanimously focuses on balance as if it is the only thing a game should bring to the table, because that is most definitely not the case, in my opinion. Good job, Ike. Yeah, taking a look here, these generals actually have a notably good stat spread. And then you have, like, the boss here, Catalina, who is a Falconite, and she actually has a really good stat spread herself. She's virtually untouched by magic, and yeah, it's a bit of a shame that more of the enemy units aren't this strong, because one thing that's interesting is none of the Pegasus Knights you fight in this chapter are like half this strength. Oh, I can even show. Yeah, very, very weak units. Very weak in strength, very weak in skill, speed, defense, and resistance. It's a bit of a shame. You would almost expect there to be a little bit better units that you would be fighting. Now, granted, a lot of Part 4 was designed in the sense that the game's wanting you to train up your weaker units to get up to snuff so that you can fight the final battles. Pawns of your execrable goddess, die! You are a festering wound in the flesh of the world. Die, and let it heal. I suppose talking it over is out of the question. You suppose right. She's just gonna get healed up too, which is, oh well. Very nice dodge, Titania. Though I'm not too worried about her taking some stray damage here and there. She does have soul. And then not only does she have soul, Mist can reach anybody on this map as long as she moves just a little bit. She has more than enough magical range with the physics staves. And, you know, that's wonderful. And here we go, Titania's healing up 14 HP. She took a lot of damage from him, which is a bit surprising. But the classes in this game that you're fighting against at this point, they do have very good stats in the strengths that those classes would be attributed. So warriors will have high strength and more than enough to deal with. I'm going to take you out. No healing for you, buckaroo. More than enough strength to deal with my units in that sense. Just strength-wise, because in all honesty, you know, you're not really taking out Titania with a single warrior. That is very strange. Very. Javelin is actually perfect here. Very nice. And nope, I cannot reach Titania from here. How about here? Nope, still cannot reach her. I actually cannot reach either Titania or Ike. I'm going to have to move her down just a little bit so that she can. Just in case. Both Titania and Ike have soul in their repertoires, but you still... Yeah, she does move. You still want to be careful. When possible. Alright, so this is not great because she moved out of the way. The only thing I can hope to do is try to find her with Mist. And I did. Nice. It would have been really great had he procced Astra. Or not Astra, Aether on her. But, you know, hoping for the moon sometimes just doesn't work. Again with that. Very weird. Luckily, my turns are pretty darn short just due to the fact that I am only using a few units. Unclean souls, your executioner awaits. Repent before your vile sins pour out of your black hearts and consume you. She says unclean, but her mouth is very unclean. Alright, if she's right here... she might be able to reach Ina, which is not great. Not great at all. In fact, she might even be able to reach Nyla still. Well, in that case, I think I'm just going to move him back. Alright, so she's still going after Mist. That's nice. Yep, gotta pay attention to where she goes as well. And she keeps flying back upward, which I'm not really a fan of right now. So I'm going to have to move the rest of my units, Ike and Mist, down as far as I possibly can. Though, and this is a big issue, is I don't necessarily want Mist to be swarmed by a bunch of enemies. Kind of nothing I can do about it right now, though, just because of the fact that I don't really want... Very weird that that's going on. I don't really want her to go up and try to fight Nyla or Ina. That would just be terrible. It'd be a waste of time more than anything. It's kind of funny that she's doing damage with that, but that is one of the cool things about the staves in this game, is that you can do damage back with them. And what happens when you do that is you actually gain a lot of staff rank, though she's already at her maximum rank for staves, so that's not truly that important, but it is interesting nonetheless. I want to say that, yeah, I think she has a 25 max strength, which means that she only has a 39 attack with the floret. Not that big a deal. Alright, nice. Death, but my work is not yet complete. It is most definitely complete. You are finished. Aw. Alright, well, this guy is finished. I'm going to move Titania back down here, just in case. Just checking pretty much every space, because I'd like this chapter to be finished within reason. It's definitely not going to get finished within reason if, well, they keep attacking Mist. And he's gone, which is very funny. Even if she doesn't proc Adept, she was hitting him twice at 9 damage apiece. And you are finished. I would like to know how necessarily close I am to finishing this chapter, but I don't know. Nice, Ike. And that's it. Cool. That looks like all of them. Fanatics that appear out of nowhere and attack from darkness. This will be tough. Ina, are you all right? Why didn't you transform? I didn't want Prince Kurthnaga to be frightened, so I tried to hold them off in this shape. He hates blood. This can't go on. I'm going to talk to him. Hey, Prince Kurthnaga. Stay away. What's wrong? Don't you remember me? Oh, that smell. The blood on your sword. Want this? No problem. I'll go drop it over here. Hey, look. No sword. Are you okay now? Yes. Good. I wanted to talk to you a little. Do you remember who I am? Yes, we met once. 3 years ago in Goldoa. That's right. You do remember. You helped us when our ship ran aground, and you gave us food and water. Yes, you were the first Bjork I had ever met. Sorry for your bad impression. Prince Kurthnaga, there's something I have to ask you. Before Yune's awakening, why did you side with the Daean army to fight against us and the Apostles' army? The dragon tribes are neutral and known for their hatred of blood and war. As their prince, I can't see why you would do it. I suppose I owe you an explanation for that. First of all, the dragon tribes had nothing to do with any of this. I disobeyed my father and the laws of Goldoa. I joined the battle against all my training, of my own free will. Ina just saw me leaving, or I wouldn't have brought her into this. I just wanted to help my sister. Sister? You have a sister in Daean? Yes. A sister and a brother, actually. My sister's name is Elmeda. She was the wife of the late King Ashnard. Mad King Ashnard was married to a princess of Goldoa? Yes. And my brother's name was Raijaon. Raijaon? Wasn't he the dragon that was warped and used by the Mad King? Wasn't Ina supposed to marry him? Yes. That savage Ashnard held his own baby hostage, the baby born of my sister Elmeda. Then he took my brother Raijaon and warped him in order to use him as a mount, like a common wyvern. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Ike, you were there at my brother's last hour. I'm sorry to ask you, but when my brother died, did he die peacefully? Yes, he did. Before he died, Rayson was able to undo what Ashnard had done to his body. Raijaon passed in Ina's arms, with a contented smile, as if he were sleeping peacefully. Thank you. It's a tremendous relief to know that. My sister was tangled in Ashnard's schemes. Our brother was killed and her son taken away. She was unable to return to Goldoa and unable to consult our father. My sister has suffered so much. I wanted to help her. So that's why you came to Daean. I'm sure that was difficult for you to tell me. Thank you. Actually, it makes me feel a little better, just talking about it. I won't repeat a word of anything you just told me. I swear on my father's grave. The Dragon Tribes and the Black Knight, they both lead back to Daean. Something about that country always draws me back to it. Decent bonus experience points.
Tibarn's party takes a long, circuitous route, leading them east around Lake Semper. The Hawk King's company includes Queen Alincia of Crimea, her trusted aide Lucia, the Heron Prince Rayson, the Laguz warrior Ranulf, Daean's King Peleus, and the Queen Mother Almeida. While they receive reports from the other two groups about the Disciples of Order, they have encountered no resistance and have thus far traveled in peace.
Chapter 2, Silent World. King Tibarn, Queen Alincia, we may need to halt for a bit. Why? What's the problem? We have some stragglers lagging behind. You mean Elmeda and Peleus are slowing us down again? We have to reach the Tower of Guidance as soon as possible. We can't have them always hamper our progress. But we have no idea when the Disciples of Orders might attack. We need to keep everyone together for safety's sake. Rayson, we'll rest here. You can land and give your wings a break. Rayson, I remember when a trip like this would have exhausted you. I'm impressed at how you're handling it. Yes, physically, I'm quite healthy, but I can't say that I'm really happy about that. Why would that be? We of the Huron clan can feel the energies of the others. In times of war, negative energy is dominant, and we sicken. Now that all the people have been turned to stone, the energy is gone, and physically I feel much better. It's unsettling to feel healthy, and know that the reason is such a sad one. It's a terrible irony. We finally have the peace we've been praying for, at the cost of all freedom, everywhere. Could this truly be the world that Goddess Ashura wants for us? No, it is the world you all created with your wars. Yeah. It's like people forget this part. No, this is the world she had to give us after we ruined hers. Man, ran off the voice of reason? Welcome back. Any sign of the Disciples of Order? Unfortunately, no. I don't like this. Why are they leaving us alone? I'm not sure I see the problem, Tibarn. If they're going to let us stroll on through, I won't complain. Not me. Right or wrong, I would prefer a stand-up fight, right now even.
What are you saying, Tibarn? How could you wish that upon us? I don't understand you.
Right now, the world is calm, peaceful, almost eerily so. It almost feels comfortable. If this goes on, we might relax, lose our edge. I'm worried that we'll get careless. Everyone, let's get one thing perfectly clear here. This isn't a natural peace. It's Ashira's work. Don't forget for an instant that the world isn't supposed to be like this. It should be noisy, vibrant, and chaotic.
You're right. A peace built on the sacrifice of so many lives is monstrous and unjust. It cannot be allowed to stand.
I didn't mean that I'm losing motivation to save the petrified people. It's just that before we started talking about it, I was feeling complacent. Is it just me? The spirit of order is hanging heavy across the land. When we fight, we get a dose of chaos, which may help us get back in touch with our true selves. If our enemy has also figured that out, it might explain why they're staying away.
Peleus, dear, how are you feeling?
Mother, I'm fine. Please stop asking after my health.
But you're so pale, darling. You were always such a sickly little boy. You should rest a while. We can't have you exhausting yourself.
No, Mother. If we stop walking now, we would slow the others.
Never mind them, sweetheart. They can wait. You should take a nice rest under that tree. Son, remember that you are a scion of both Daeon's and Goldoa's royal families. You are more important than any of these peasants. The others can certainly wait for you. Don't spare a single thought for them.
Let go of me. Leave me alone. Mother?
Peleus.
I'm sorry, Mother.
Peleus, wait, Peleus.
What a strange woman. Raisin, where are you? Over here, Tibarn. What are you doing so early in the morning? I'm hunting for treasure. Could you repeat that? I believe it was the goddess Yune. She sent me a message in my sleep. I saw patches of ground that glowed. I went to one of those spots and found this. A Satori sign. Don't see these very often. It's a good find. But blast it, Raisin. Why didn't you wake me up? I didn't know what I would find. Besides, you look so comfortable. I didn't even notice you'd snuck out. I can't believe a Huron snuck by me. Even heroes need their sleep to keep fighting, Tibarn. Where's the harm in sleeping? I know that you haven't had a good night's rest since the incident in Phoenicius. Yeah, but you know, there must be something in the air. Despite all that's happened, I feel fantastic. It's a perfect day for hunting treasure. And enemies. Excellent. Strange conversations here. Good morning, Queen Alencia.
Oh, good morning, George. It looks to be a pleasant day, doesn't it?
Indeed. And a splendid morning is the best time to present a queen with a fine gift.
Oh, George, your kind thoughts are enough. You and Daniel have worked so hard to supply our army. If you have something for me, please let me pay you for it.
Even under these circumstances, Queen Alencia, you always try to be good to us. That's why we wanted to give you a gift. It's a token of our appreciation.
Daniel.
We'll take payment for everything else, but please, take this one item without any protests. It's our pleasure. Please, Queen Alencia, we insist.
Very well. I suppose it would be quite rude of me not to accept it.
Wonderful. Here it is. Please use it with our compliments.
Oh, this is a fire tome.
Yes, it's a very valuable one.
So I can see. I'm not a mage, but I feel great power from this tome.
Daniel and I happened to be in that building when there was the big flash of light. That's how we escaped from being turned to stone. But you avoided it because you were one of the chosen. But we still want to help you. We can collect weapons to help you in battle. Please save the people who were turned to stone. Please give us the world we used to have.
I promise you I will do my utmost. I'll work toward it with everything I have. Together we can accomplish anything.
Rex Flame. So, let's see. Alencia. I'm going to put that in the convoy. I'm actually going to look at the Rex Caliber that I got last chapter and forgot to mention its power. Double S-rank tome, 13 might, 105 hit, 10 crit. Wind magic of the highest order is very effective against winged units. So, what's amusing about the magic in this game is that it is not up to snuff with the physical weapons, especially of the double S rank order. And I don't particularly like this because though this gives, I believe, a +3 to speed. I want to say Rex Bolt gives a +3 to skill, and Rex Flame gives a +3 to speed. Rex Caliber gives a +3 to... resistance, maybe? Or defense? I'm not entirely sure. This has only 13 might. Graph Caliber has that might, and 5 less hit, and 30 more crit. Come on, game, you can do better. But Rex Flame, what I just got, is the strongest animal magic in this game. 14 might, 100 hit, 5 crit. I don't remember the pluses that all of these give. I want to say that Rex Caliber is the one that gives speed, but I'm not entirely sure. It might be that Rex Flame gives strength. I know that Rex Bolt gives skill. Very interesting, to say the least, especially because I have some managing to do. I will see you all in just a few. Alright, gamers, I am back with my party fully situated, and Rayson has been given all the rest of his levels through bonus experience points, which maxed out all of his stats except for resistance, which is kind of humorous because you would almost think that his resistance would max out before the rest, but it's just not how Rayson is built most times. And I even have Tibarn, this wonderful, great, incredible unit that deserves some talking about. That I'm so very glad to have. 75 HP growth, 40% strength, 5% magic, 10% skill, 20% speed, 40% luck, 40% defense, and 20% resistance. This man is an incredible unit, and I'm very glad to have him in this army. He is the leader of this army, which is fantastic. It is not Alencia. Now, I did go ahead and give Alencia all of my stat boosters. I had a Seraph Robe, an Energy Drop, 2 Speed Wings, and a Draco Shield. So she has been buffed quite a bit, alongside Paragon and Discipline being her 2 skills I've given her, so that she can gain her maximum staff rank. I'm not necessarily sure what that would be. Don't really care about her maximum sword rank because she does have her best sword in the game. Now, Taronio, I would like to forge him a hand axe of sorts that would have kind of as much busted stats as the Thracian, if not more in certain other ways. But that's going to probably have to wait. I went through and tried some forges and reset, and you cannot get different RNG with the coins upon resetting or anything of that nature, or saving, or so on and so forth. So I was always getting Vine, which gives you literally nothing. And I feel like that's a waste of my time, especially because a good old Tomahawk is technically better in all stats. Well, in the might department. It's not really better in anything other than might. Now, good old Tibarn gets all of his stats doubled here, and he also has 20 might talons. With Savior, eliminates skill and speed penalties for carrying a traveler. Pavis can nullify the effects of an enemy unit's attack. Form Shift allows the unit to transform at any time. And Tear can inflict damage at triple strength and have enemy speed for 1 turn. He's kind of a beastly unit. He's untransformed right now. He actually gains 2 movement upon transformation. I gave Rayson the boots, so right now he's going to have 12 movement upon his transformation, which is going to make him pretty darn mighty. I don't have any plans of taking Celerity off of him. It is time to move on.
We spotted the enemy. They're over there, to the southwest.
How did they get so close without being noticed? Did we have men out of position?
No, I just checked in. Enemy forces just suddenly appeared, with no sign or warning at all.
Guess that's one good thing about fighting a goddess. Things are sure to be exciting. Everyone get in position.
An entire legion that can appear from nowhere? Who are these disciples?
To be honest, I don't care who they are. I just want to knock a little disorder back into the world. Choose units. And I'm going to be bringing pretty much no one. My team on this, for these particular chapters, is even more scrawny than my team in the previous, in Ike's parties, I should say, which is very important to note. This chapter has one singular item hidden, and it is an arm scroll, I believe, right here. I'll get it if I can, but I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to bother with it all that much. What you will notice is that this chapter has a lot of wind magic, as well as bow units, and even a few crossbow units here and there. I'm not really seeing them all. Here's one here. The crossbow units, even with all the buffs that I gave to good old Alencia, will one-shot her, and they will near one-shot Tibar. Now, Rayson with Nullify should... I mean, he's still going to take a lot of damage from them, right? He's not going to be immune to them. It's just that he doesn't take any extra damage. And look, I get to fight Valtome, this ridiculous, despicable man. It's wonderful that you get to use your Hawk and, Tibarn and Alencia army to fight him. He comes with Valoro, a corruption of very high light magic. The unit hit by it will be poisoned. This is hilariously pathetic in its might and its capability of damaging pretty much any of your units. You'll notice that he is a tier 2 bishop with tier 2.5 stats. He also doesn't have any skills to speak of. One thing I did want to complain about for just a moment is I actually find it very odd the way that the parties are separated. I don't particularly understand why Peleus and Almeda are going with the Crimean and Tibarn parties, the Phoenician parties, I should say. And I would well in a way prefer that Peleus had joined the good old army of the Silver Army with Micaiah. That being said, though, it is time to save and begin. And though I have begun, it is also time to end this episode. Yes, it is that time of episode where, though I would like to continue about defeating the rest of these enemies with my good old smorgasbord of units, exactly 4, I have other things that are of use and import to do, including seeing you next time. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.